This is Inside Indiana Business Radio for the morning of Tuesday, March 18th, 2025. I'm Alex Brown. On the court, the Big Ten Conference schools are rivals, but for the last 12 years, researchers from each university have teamed up to fight one opponent: cancer. The idea for the Big Ten Cancer Research Consortium emerged from the IU Melvin and Bren Simon Comprehensive Cancer Center in Indianapolis and its former director, Dr. Patrick Lair. Hoosier Cancer Research Network CEO Brian Stemme says the impact is growing.
The consortium is 16 universities and cancer centers that are working together to help advance clinical research. And the way to describe it is they're really doing clinical trials together.
With the addition of several new West Coast universities to the Big Ten Conference, the consortium is also courting cancer centers affiliated with those schools to join. Governor Mike Braun will join officials from Kratos Defense and Security Solutions for an economic development announcement today in southern Indiana. Few details are available, but the announcement is expected to be related to the Naval Surface Warfare Center Crane Division. The longtime leader of the River Ridge Development Authority in southeast Indiana will step down this summer. Jerry Acey, who has served as the organization's executive director since 2008, said Monday he will retire at the end of June. Mark Hildebrand, Chief Director of Engineering and Operations at the business park, will succeed Acey. From the number one source for Indiana business news, this is Inside Indiana Business Radio.
To succeed, you need to stay informed. You need to be engaged. And let's face it, you need to set yourself apart from the rest by connecting with a company that brings you the best. Because in today's environment, business is an ever-moving target, and we'll help you chase it. IBJ Media. The best of business is in us. Get started at ibjmedia.com/youngprofessional.
The Indiana Supreme Court has suspended a South Bend attorney for repeatedly failing to represent a client. IIB's Marek Mazurek has the story.
Sean Hilgendorf of Hilgendorf Law Office will have his law license suspended for 180 days beginning on April 25th. In 2022, Hilgendorf began accepting nominations to represent a client in a felony case and in the appeals case for a contempt of court conviction. However, court records show Hilgendorf failed to appear for a sentencing hearing, and his client was sentenced after choosing to proceed with the hearing without counsel. Hilgendorf later accepted an appointment to represent the client on appeal in his felony case. He then failed to initiate an appeal in the contempt case. In the months that followed, Hilgendorf either failed to respond to his client's requests for information, or the attorney sent communications to the wrong address despite being updated when his client transferred between correctional facilities. Hilgendorf was disciplined for similar misconduct in 2011, in which he failed to keep a client reasonably informed, failed to explain a matter to allow a client to make an informed decision, and failed to refund an unearned fee upon termination of representation, according to the State Disciplinary Commission. In the more recent case, the court found Hilgendorf violated a number of Indiana professional conduct rules, including failure to keep a client informed about the status of a matter and failing to comply promptly with a client's reasonable requests for information. Hilgendorf told our partners at the Indiana Lawyer that he had no comment on the matter. I'm Marek Mazurek for Inside Indiana Business Radio.
Newburgh-based Energy Systems Group on Monday announced Jeff Blum as its new CEO. Blum most recently served as a senior vice president with elevator and escalator company Cone. The Sustainable Infrastructure and Energy Services Company said the position is a new addition to its leadership team and reflects its commitment to growth. ESG said Blum is well positioned to drive the company's next phase of expansion. The appointment comes less than a year after ESG merged with California-based Pacific West Energy Solutions and acquired Year Out Energy Services in New Mexico. Pattern Inc. Executive Director Polina Osharov is this week's guest on the Business and Beyond podcast with Gary Dick, presented by PNC, a weekly conversation with high-profile Hoosiers in business, sports and entertainment, and beyond. Available now from your favorite podcast provider. I'm Alex Brown for Inside Indiana Business Radio on Demand.